All right, all right. Got my main man, Brian Lewis, executive partner here at LC Financial Group. We're going to be talking a little bit about life. Appreciate you taking the time, sir.
Absolutely, I appreciate you having me on. So, just to properly introduce myself, my name is Brian Lewis, executive here at LC Financial Group. For those of you that don't know me, I do take full responsibility for that. Need to get out there in the world more, make my omnipresence. But yeah, super excited. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So you just got back from Miami, Florida, huh? Miami, Florida. You're visiting my second spot there that I just closed out. We were talking about it earlier, how getting into an environment and a surrounding of like what your life could be like. Can you touch on a little bit about that, what you were speaking about?
Yeah, so it's actually like incredible. Sunny Isles Beach, Miami, Florida. Staying like you said at your spot. Like you don't know what's out there until you're there. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what life could be like until you're living it. And I feel like for most people, they have this idea of only the rich get to experience, luxury or this or that. Or just being down there, man, it opened my eyes to what life could really be like for us, in just to dive in a little bit deeper. So like you pull up, it's a gated community. You need to know somebody to get in or obviously live there. Like valet, like opening your doors, taking your luggage out, like, yes sir, how you doing today, sir? Life could be just like that. And to be honest with you, man, I guess it makes you feel good because you feel like you're on top of the world. Like everybody's, I don't want to say catering to you, because at the end of the day, we're not special. You know what I mean? Like anybody can have this in life if they're willing to put in the time and the effort that it takes. But I'll tell you what, I was talking to one of my recruits about this. The thing that holds everybody back from attaining that life, what would you say it is?
It's fear, not having the belief, not having the faith, letting doubt and uncertainty creep into their mind. Because what happens is that a lot of individuals, they're like, say for example, they're joining us here at LC Financial Group, they're partnering with us, or maybe some other insurance organization, or maybe some other sales job, or just job in general. When they first jump into it, they're like, man, so excited, very excited, like, let's go, I'm gonna crush it. And then they get hit with challenges and roadblocks and adversity. And then they don't persist enough, they don't have enough of that grit and that perseverance and that ability to just bulldoze their way through, and then they start to have doubt and fear. Oh, is this working? Is this the right job for me? They potentially have other people around them, other individuals, whether it's family members, friends, associates, telling them like, oh, maybe you should get another job. This isn't going to work out for you. The marketplace isn't ready, whatever it might be. So yeah, it's definitely fear. And the fear stems from the doubt and uncertainty. And it stems from a lack of faith and belief in yourself and in what you're doing.
Absolutely. I think another key thing for me was having my significant other down there as well. And the reason being is because you can only do so much on your own. You can only go so far on your own. And if your significant other, say, doesn't believe in what you're doing or has doubts, that's obviously going to cause problems, not between you two, but between your mindset. It's a you versus you problem now. So being able to bring her down there, show her what our life really could be like, was just incredible. Because after we left, she's like, okay, now it's time to lock down. It's time for you to get to work. Like let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. And having a support system like that, knowing that she knows what I'm capable of doing, she knows that, she believes that. Now it's just re-solidified on, okay, this is the right career path, this is the right vehicle, LC Financial Group is the right organization to be with, the right people. All you have to do is put your head down and work. And when I got home, that's what she told me. Listen, I know that you haven't really been working so much the last couple months. That's okay, because obviously we're still making it. But what would happen if you put your head down? That's what she asked me. What would happen if you put your head down and you worked? And it took me back. I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, wow, you're right. Like most people don't think about what they could have. You know, they think about everything they don't have. I don't have that because I only make $18 an hour, or I don't have that because I'm not rich, or rather than thinking about the things that they could have and the things they need to do to obtain the things that they want. You know.
Wow.
I always talk about it with not just my significant other Dana, but I had a long conversation with one of my recruits. Is if you're not willing to put everything on the line and risk it all, you're essentially gonna let your dreams and the things you want in life pass you by, and one day you might wake up and realize like it's too late. It's too late. So having that experience to know what life really could be like, instead of just seeing it on an Instagram post or seeing it on the TV, like actually physically being there, dude, it was incredible.
Real life experience.
A real life experience was incredible, and it opened my eyes to let's lock in, let's get it. It's so obtainable. We just have to do it. It's obtainable.
Yeah, it's like that saying, you need to see it to believe it, right? And it's so true, because a lot of people, they stay in their little box, they stay in their little bubble, they don't venture out, they don't travel, they don't go places, they don't spend money to, more money than they're used to spending to go to like events or another city, another country, and they don't get to experience what life could be like, which is exactly what happened for you. And I do this so much in my life. Like, I remember the first time I sat floor seats at like a basketball game, NBA basketball game, the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was just like, wow, like this is what life could be like. And you need to experience that. So as it did for you, Brian, like it allows you to get laser focused, locked in, and really it allows you to visualize even more, manifest even more what life could be like if you just put your head down, you put everything on the line, you take the risks, you're 100% all in. Because in the insurance industry, which we're both in, running LC Financial Group, you and I, and a few our other partners, like the opportunity is limitless, right? It's limitless, and we're in the right vehicle, recession proof. Insurance is recession proof. The income earning potentials are uncapped, right? And as long as you're surrounded with the right people, the environment and culture we're creating here at LC Financial Group, and you have the right resources, the right strategies, and the systems, creating anything is possible. And like you said earlier, like if they could do it, you could do it as well. And that's something I'm a huge believer of, is that if I see someone else doing something or someone else has created something, I can create the exact same thing. Because we're not special. Like you said, no one is special. We're all just normal, human, spiritual individuals, spiritual beings. So, you were down there in Miami, you got to experience what life could be like. Now, something that we're doing within our organization is having quarterly trips for our partners as well as executives. So we can get our partners experiencing the same type of thing. Getting them outside of their current environment, outside their current surroundings, getting them into a very prosperous and abundant environment, going to a new city, going to a new state, maybe even outside of the country, and having them experience like, wow, like this is where I could live. This is how life could be. And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It just broadens the lens that individuals are wearing in life. Because as you said, like you see it on Instagram, you see it on Facebook, YouTube, the news, but it's just not as real. You actually need to go there. You need to see it. You need to touch it. You need to smell it, right? Like I was just recently in California for my first time in Los Angeles, and I'm just driving around like, it smells like money. Like all I was smelling was money because it's so prosperous and so abundant. I'm seeing literally houses that are like the size of like 10 houses here in Ohio, or and it's just crazy to see that. And it just gets you refueled. It keeps your obsession very, very on point. Like you get even more obsessed with what you're doing. And it's crazy, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the analogies that I like to use, especially when you have a real life experience like that, is the vision. Like, because I don't care what you're doing, you have to have a vision of where you're going and how things work. You know what I mean? Like what your life could be like, the vision. However, on the journey, on the journey to obtain that vision that you have, 9 times out of 10. And from everything that I've experienced, it gets foggy, it gets cloudy, it gets, you start to lose sight of what the vision was and the purpose was. So having these real life experiences is like you're in your car and you just flipped on the fog light, so now everything's as clear as day again.
Yeah.
You realize, okay, yeah, I was going this way, and I was going this way. Why? Because I want to obtain the vision that I once had. So being in an environment where you're able to see and feel the things that are only on TV or only in movies, it just makes it more of a reality for you, that it's so much more obtainable than people actually think.
Yep. And that's a key word, reality. When you go somewhere, you touch it, you feel it, you're seeing it, it builds more reality, it becomes more real for you. And that's an important part that you brought up about needing to have a vision. Like for me personally, for the past 6-7 years I've been an entrepreneur, I'm always visualizing what my life could be like. What is my life going to look like 10 years, 20, 30, 40 years from now? What is my ideal scene? What is that valuable final product that I want to have in my life? What am I going to have? Where am I going to live? The houses, the investments, the real estate, the family, the ability to give back, the ability to support. Like I'm always visualizing that. And that's, a lot of people always ask me like, man, how do you stay so focused? How do you stay so energized? It's like, dude, I'm always visualizing what my life could be like. And, it's a quote that GC says, it's like, if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there. So visualizing it, having those mental image pictures in your mind of like what you want, writing it down. That's why I'm a huge believer in writing down goals and targets every single day and just keeping it top of mind. Because as you said, it's going to get foggy. Life is going to get foggy. Life is going to continue to confront you. Things are going to come up in life. You're going to get slapped in the face multiple times, a lot of challenges and adversity. But as long as you have the vision and like, this is where I'm going, this is where I'm headed, you have multiple purposes, multiple reasons, you're just going to continue to persist. Whereas many people, they just throw in the towel because they lack the vision, they lack the belief, like we were speaking about earlier, that they lack the faith, and they're not experiencing what life could be like. So, right now, tell the listeners, like, what are you currently doing in life yourself, and what's Brian Lewis's life like right now?
So right now I'm definitely a Medicare specialist, 100% mainly focused and geared towards Medicare. I also do life insurance and hospital indemnity plans, a whole other slew of things that I have to offer. My main focus is Medicare. And I think the reason why is because with life insurance, it's great, but with Medicare, I feel like it's so much more important. Like, these are things that people are using day to day. Like life insurance, like, don't get me wrong, I cannot stress the importance of life insurance enough, but it's not something you're using day to day. It's not like you like whoever takes it out, like the what's the word I'm looking for? The beneficiary, not the beneficiary, the insured, insured. They're not seeing that. That's not for them. That's for the beneficiary. However, with Medicare, like you're dealing with clients who are using the things you're putting them in daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and to be able to talk to somebody and they're like, "Thank you so much for the things you did last year for me. Like, my life has changed forever." It's incredible. So what I'm doing now in my life is I'm pushing myself, all of my limits to where, like, I have no limits, because at the end of the day, we are what sets limits for ourselves. We're the obstacles in our road. 9 times out of 10, we're the ones that are holding ourselves back. So I just got a new car. Look, I just moved into a new place as of last year. got a lot of things going on, and what I'm mainly focusing on is bringing people in and offering the same opportunity and the same stuff that I have, because it goes back to the reality, like the vehicle we're in, most people don't have reality on or of for one reason or another, because they're stuck in their 9 to 5 and they have this same stagnant mindset that, oh, this is all I'm ever going to get, or this is all that's ever out there for me. Like you're never going to achieve what you want. You're only going to work to pay your bills. So my main focus now is offering what we have here to others, so that way they can achieve the same things that we're doing here.
Nice.
I mean, I want everybody, you know, in the United States to have the same opportunities to be able to, you know, have the income they want, work when they want, work where they want, have the freedoms to know like what the 1% are able to see daily.
Now, I know a little bit about your background. You were in the insurance industry before. You jumped out of it, wrong situation with the previous organization. Then you got back with it. And now, like, within that time frame of being partnered with me in LC Financial Group, man, I've seen, like, astronomical changes. Like, dude, like, you're a completely different individual, the way you think, the way you operate. And also, you know, just seeing your ability to execute and your ability to be a executive as well. You know, you're growing your team right now. You have about like 10 individuals under you. And, you know, it's just awesome to see how quickly someone's life can change. And you got to be willing to change, right? If you want to change in life, you just have to be willing to change. And I talk about it a lot of times, like you have to remove the bad information and then add the good information. You got to strip away the bad data, the bad information, and then add the good information and the good data. And like you said, we're our biggest obstacle to success. No one else is holding us back from creating success besides ourselves. And anyone can create, you know, indestructible wealth. They can create the success they want to create if they just put their mind to it. They're just all in, 100% committed. And, you know, it's awesome to see what we have, you know, the opportunity that we're in and the career that we're in. We're able to share that with other individuals, and we're able to like just change other individuals' lives. And, you know, that's one of our main focuses within our organization, is changing individuals' lives, life-changing, right? Life-changing financial group. So, you know, talk a little bit about what changes have you made since you've been within the organization, since you've been partnered with me. Like, what are some, like, 3 key changes or 3 improvements that you've seen in your life?
Oh, man. That's
I know there's probably way more than that.
Yeah. So I would say first and foremost, my mindset has definitely changed. I went from being like very insecure in life, you know, like almost deeming myself not worthy of having great things. Very scared to take risks, because I was always raised like you want something that's steady. You want something that's guaranteed. You want something that's always going to be there. And I would say one of the biggest contributing factors, of course, aside from being with LC Financial Group, is having the right support system. Like my significant other is incredible. And between partnering with LC Financial, you per se, and having her, it has allowed me to change my mindset, because now I am as confident as I've ever been. I'm as comfortable as I've ever been with knowing the material that I deliver to the marketplace on a daily basis. So just to go back to it, I would say definitely mindset. I would say, oh man, probably monetary as well. Like that's definitely something, like the amount of money I made.
Like your financial literacy.
Yes.
Okay.
It's increased 10 times, 10x.
Like what did you think, just to jump in, what did you think was a lot of money back in the day?
Like I think the most money I ever made back in the day was like $1,500 in a week, and I was blown away. I'm like, wow. Yeah. That's incredible. And I'm now like, it's way beyond that. Now like $10,000 in a week is incredible. Yeah. And the farther along I get, the more that I dive into this and the more I grow this business, I know that's a very small portion. Like $10,000 is a drop in the hat. You look at Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or Grant Cardone or any of these mastermind, Warren Buffett, like $10,000 is pocket money for them. Mm-hmm. And once you understand that, it's a lot easier to know that all of that money that's out there, it can be yours. Because guess what? There's no shortage of money. There's no shortage of success. All you got to do is just put your head down and get to work. And guess you know the best news about it all is just because you're having mega success doesn't take away from my mega success. Yep. There's enough success and there's enough money in the world to go around for everybody. Yeah. So even if you're in Cleveland door knocking, I could be on the other end of Cleveland door knocking, and we could still both have the same successes.
Yep.
So I would say mindset, financial literacy, and then I would also probably say like, I guess it ties into mindset, like manager, like I don't even know how to say it properly.
Like being an executive, an executor.
Yeah, being a leader.
Leadership.
And I think it all stems to confidence, confidence and support. Because when I first came in, I mean, you remember my first life insurance presentation, dude. I was shaky. I basically asked the client, like, do you want life insurance or not? You know, like, which essentially is what we do. But I didn't paint the picture. I didn't feel confident in, doing what we're doing. Now, there's very little that I don't know. And if I don't know it, I'm glad I don't know it because there's more that I can learn. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's also key too. Is you always got to be willing to not be the smartest person in the room. Like, that's what I strive for. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room because if I am, I'm in the wrong room. You know?
Wow.
And being and that ties back into being in the right vehicle, in the right organization. Like, I was in insurance before, and all I focused on was life insurance, and there's no problem with that, but there's so much more that we can offer to the beneficiaries, the individuals we speak with, we sit with, we serve. I don't want to just be someone's life insurance agent. I want to be their insurance agent.
Yep.
Across the board, Medicare, potentially car insurance, life insurance, mortgage protection, hospital indemnity plans. I want to be the guy.
Oh.
I wanted to be the guy. Like, back in the day, this is how it was. Like, your whole family went to one insurance agent. Your family's family went to one insurance agent forever until he passed away. That was it. That's what I want to get back to. I want to be the guy. I want to be like, okay, all of Cleveland is I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Or all of Indiana or all of Florida or wherever I might be, I want to be the guy.
Huh.
So just tying back into what you said, like, I've grown the most I've ever grown in my life since partnering with LC Financial Group, being around the right individuals, and more importantly, having a mentor that believes in you and is going to continue to push you to be the best you can be.
Mm-hmm. And that's great that you let it off that way, because I was thinking about, like, the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people. Being around the right people that support you, people that lift you up. Like, have you had to make any, like, changes with who was in your life, these past couple of years?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Just viewing everything as a liability or an asset, and where they're going to get you, and how, like, what's really going to take you to where you want to be. And there's people that, I've had to limit the amount of time I share with them for one reason or another, and it's a liability. Now, I'm not going to cut them off, but I'm definitely going to minimize the time. But I've also had individuals where I just completely, like, I guess per se ghosted, as you'd call it, like, just had to completely cut out of my life. Like, a toxic traits, like you said, they instead of saying, hey, you can do this, oh, you're not going to do that. They're going to suppress your emotions, suppress your feelings, suppress your thoughts. And they do that because they know that they're not confident with who they are to do what you're doing.
Wow.
So in the last probably couple years of my life, I used to have a giant group of friends. I don't hang out with anybody. Like, if it's not insurance and it's not hanging out with my significant other or my family, then I really don't have time for it.
Wow.
Like, I honestly, I don't. Like, I'm looking to grow a 9-figure organization here, and offer this opportunity to millions of people, hundreds of millions of people. And I don't have time for You know, like the naysayers or the people who the doubters.
Yeah.
You're only ever going to work to pay your bills kind of people.
Wow.
And when you get around the right individuals, it makes it so much easier and so much clearer to see, oh, that's a liability.
Yep.
That's an asset. You know, because what you fill your mind with is essentially what you're going to be surrounded with. You hang out with 5 billionaires, well, guess what? you're typically going to be the sixth.
Yep.
You hang around people who are going nowhere, you know, who are okay making $30,000 a year. Well, I mean, that's your ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those kind of people, but when you have aspirations as big as I do and as big as we do, I shouldn't even say I, it's we as an organization, as people, you know, looking to change the world, life changing, there can be no room for individuals like that. There cannot be. And if there is, say it's a family member, or, you know, maybe it's, let's just start with your family members. Like, let's say you have some suppressive family members. Well, you can't cut them out because they're your family, but you can definitely minimize the time that you share with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important to minimize what you let in your brain. Like, what I mean, because at the end of the day, that's your thoughts, your feelings, the way you speak, the way the way you walk, the way you hold yourself, is ultimately going to determine how far you're going to go in life.
Yep.
I mean, you know, like, you think something negative, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get negative. Think something positive, and you're confident. It's a law of attraction. What you put out is what you get back. It's that simple.
Yeah, I always think about this. This saying is that, like, a lot of people, they password protect their phone, or they lock their car, whatever it might be, but they don't password protect their life. They don't put a lock on their life, who they allow into their life, what they allow into their life, what they listen to, what they hear, what they see. And then people are just letting in a bunch of garbage and a bunch of clutter into their mind, into their vision. And as you said, it ultimately affects the amount of success that you can create within your life. So it's funny because no one really views it that way. Besides, like, the highly successful. The highly successful, they just operate differently. They think differently. They have a different type of, you know, belief system. They have a different mindset, right? And it really all boils down to desire. Having a burning desire to create something out of your life. You know, I believe that everyone was put on this planet for a reason. Everyone was born on this universe for a reason. Is to do great things, do extraordinary things. And you talked about it earlier about, like, you keep realizing more and more of your potential and your capabilities. You know, as you continue to grow in life, you continue to realize, like, you're capable of so much more. You have so much more potential. Like, you thought that 1,500 in a week was a lot. Now you're like 10,000 a week. That's like the goal, right?
Yeah.
That's like, and then, you know, 5 years from now, it's going to be 100,000 a week.
Yeah.
You right?
Yeah.
And then 5 years after that, it's going to be 100,000 a day.
Exactly.
Right? And it's just continual growth, continually getting better, and keeping the main focus of, like, becoming the best version of ourselves, and helping other individuals do the same thing as well. So, man, this was great. Got some good notes here, man. So, to leave us off, I want to ask you a few questions. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think, you know, the importance of risk is on a scale of 1 to 10?
10.
10.
Yeah, and then I think the reason why is because you, in order to get anything great, you're going to have to risk it all. You're going to have to. So the importance of risk, if you're not taking risks, you're not really growing. You know, I like to say, if you're not growing, you're dying. So if you're not taking risks and you're not willing to sacrifice something, whether it be money, whether it be time, whether it be whatever it is, if you're not willing to risk something, then you're never really going to get to where you want to be 100%. So
Yep.
Out of 1 to 10, it's 100% 10.
Yep. You know, as I always say, it's like, it's more risky not to take risk. You know, you're more, by being risk adverse and like shying away from risk, you're actually putting yourself into risk, because when you're taking risk, great things are going to happen. Now, from a scale of 1 to 10, what is the importance of taking massive amounts of action?
Actually, I would say 100.
100.
I would say 100 out of 10. And I
Yeah.
actually just started, thanks to you, I picked up a book, 10X, by Grant Cardone. And one of the things that really stuck out to me, and it's within the first couple pages, it takes the same amount of energy and action to make 10,000 or 30,000 as it does 100 million.
Yep.
The same amount of energy and action. It takes the same amount of energy and action to decide you're going to do nothing versus to take massive action, to take 10 times the amount of action.
Yep.
And it's crazy because, so I think about it as like a relationship or a marriage. It takes the same amount of energy to have a bad marriage as it does to have a great marriage. So
Yep.
why don't we all just strive to have the great, to have the best of everything? I mean, if it takes the same amount of energy to make 30,000 as it does to make $1 million, why doesn't everybody do it that way?
Right.
So taking massive action, 100 out of 10.
Yep.
I think that's key. That's key, because if you're not, and a lot of times individuals, and coming into insurance, I definitely did it myself. I'm guilty. You underestimate the amount of action it takes to acquire something.
Wow.
And that's the truth. That's the truth. So 100,000, that's easy.
Yeah.
No, you underestimate how much action you really need to take in order to get that.
That's right.
Or 10,000, or like I said, 1,500 was a lot, and then I realized, the actions and the effort that it took to get that, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how much action or effort does it take to get 10,000 in a week? Mm-hmm. And then once you hit 10,000 in a week, you're like, okay, great. Like, so you realize the amount of actions you took to get that, and you're like, wow, I didn't really think it would take that much. So 100 out of 10.
Yeah.
For sure.
What would you say is more important, what you say or how you say it?
How you say it.
Yeah.
Because you and I might be saying the same thing in two different ways, and it might come across to the client in two different ways. Or we might be saying, say the exact same thing, the same exact tonality, but it comes off to everybody different. So it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Because you can politely tell somebody to, kick rocks. You know what I mean? Like, politely telling them that. You can tell someone that they're going to get, if I was screaming at you, you're going to get $100 million, how would you react?
Right.
Like, if I'm like genuinely, like, angrily screaming at you, you're going to get $100 million, how would you react?
You'd be like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, your guard would be up, you probably wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
But if I came to you in a mellow, soft, like, upbeat, positive tone, like, hey, dude, you just won $1 million, like, you'd be like, really? Like, you'd get juiced up, you'd get amped up.
Right.
So it's about what you say. No, it's about how you say it, not what you say.
Right. Definitely. Let me ask you this. What's more important, asking the right questions or getting answers to the question?
Asking the right questions, for sure. For sure.
I think it's the adverse.
Do you?
Yeah. What do you say?
Yeah, the reason I think asking the right questions is because, let's be honest, man. I mean, we're talkers. Like, you and I are talkers, for sure. We like to talk. I like to talk, you know what I mean? But when you're dealing with any individual, like, I don't know what you're going through and you don't know what I'm going through. So in order for me, bring me into LC Financial Group, what did you have to do? You had to ask the right questions. You had to see what was holding me back. Mm-hmm. Like, I could tell you, like, hey, man, I'm nervous, I'm scared. But until you dive deeper and figure out why I'm nervous and why I'm scared, you would never know. You would have never known, the things that I've been through in the insurance industry, why I was nervous to get back in, so on and so forth. That ties into, life insurance, that ties into Medicare, that ties into just life in general. You have to be asking, for me, this is my belief, you have to be asking the right questions to fully understand the situation as a whole, or understand an individual as a whole. Yeah.
But it's like, the question doesn't matter if you don't get the answer. What if they don't answer the question? Then the question.
Do I revert back to the question?
Right, of course.
Revert back to the question. So, in essence, like, Ryan, what is holding you back from moving forward with LC Financial Group?
Yeah.
Well, if you're not going to answer the question, I'll reiterate the question. So is there something that's holding you back from LC Financial Group?
Yeah.
And then you're going to be like, well, fear. Well, that's a very broad statement. So what are you fearful of that's holding you back from joining LC Financial Group?
Right.
You're diving deeper. You're getting to the root of what it is to be able to solve the problem. Now I understand what you're saying. If they're just like not answering questions, I mean, there's nothing you're really going to do. But if someone is answering your questions but not to the full capability, like you ask me, what's holding you back, and I'm like, I'm scared. Well, you don't know why I'm scared or what I'm scared of.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to find that out, you got to ask more in-depth questions.
Yeah. So
that's just my belief. I mean, I think they both go hand in hand, but just as a general, broad answer, I think asking the right questions.
What do you think? Lastly, what do you think is more important? Committing or getting everything in line and then committing?
No, committing, because at the end of the day, so if you're going to go the opposite route and not commit first, it's going to take you a heck of a lot longer to get to where you want to be. And the reason is because now you're trying to plan everything from A to Z, and I like to call it like the spider web effect. Okay, I'm going to drive to this door knock and I'm going to sell this person, and sounds great. I will bring the boxes to the location. Well, it doesn't fit in your car. You'll figure it out. Whatever it may be, committing first is always key. It's always key. Because then if you don't commit first, you're going to overthink, and then 9 times out of 10, with the uncertainty that comes from it, you're probably not going to move forward. Like I know for myself, you asked me this when I first started insurance, like the only way I can help you is if you fully commit.
Yep.
And I didn't really understand what you meant by that, and now looking back I do, because if I wasn't willing to give you my all, and I was trying to figure everything out before I gave you my all, I would have never joined.
Yeah.
Because I still am learning stuff now that there's no figuring it all out and then committing.
Mm-hmm.
You commit, and as you go, you run into scenarios or obstacles that you figure out.
Yep.
So more important to commit first and figure it out later. So
That's
if you're ever
right.
scared about anything, like getting a new car, what'd you tell me?
Yeah, just do it, man.
Just do it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Your payment's what? Oh, yeah, you'll figure it out. No problem. What does it matter?
Yeah.
Figure it out. We always figure it out. As people, we always figure it out. COVID hits. What did everybody do?
Mm-hmm.
Loss of income, loss of jobs, this and that. Everybody started to figure it out.
Yep.
Whatever it may be that's in your life. Because I'm sure you've been through some tough times just like I have. Guess what you did?
Yeah, figured it out.
Figured it out.
That's right, folks. Well, you heard it here. My man, Brian Lewis, executive partner here at LC Financial Group. Hey, if you want to learn more about what partnering with us here at LC Financial Group would look like, DM me, comment below, DM Brian Lewis. What's your Instagram, Facebook, or email? Where could these people reach you at?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Real Brian Lewis. You can go to Facebook and it's just Brian Lewis. And then my email is brian@teamlcfg.com. So to get in touch with me, you can reach me at any of those. Looking for a career change, just looking to be around like-minded individuals. Definitely reach out. Would love to have you on board, and be able to offer the same thing that I have here with you guys, and anybody for that matter.
There we go. Well, you guys take it easy. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Absolutely. Take it easy, guys.